Maine has a problem, and the people in charge are counting on you to stay quiet about it. Taxes, housing, corruption, jobs, healthcare, the issues pile up while the headlines keep spinning. But two voices refuse to look away. The Angry Citizen, the CPS Punisher. Maine Matters is the podcast that doesn't flinch. Real talk, real accountability, no filters. The truth about your state starts here.
Miles apart. Same state. Same corruption. Same silent majority still whispering, someone should do something. We're done whispering. Two names on opposite ends of the same Maine map. One built the weapon, one felt the trap. CPS Punisher grinding code in the dark. Angry citizen watching the system leave its mark. Same courts, same lies, same rubber stamp lies, same families shredded while the state looks wise. They count on distance, they count on fear. They count on us staying quiet year after year. Tired of the posts, tired of the sighs, tired of someone should while the children cry. Complaining is free, action costs blood, but silence is the only real flood. Same state, same war, no more dividing lines. CPS Punisher and the Angry Citizen rise. No more fear of the retaliation game. Expose the heinous or the cycle stays the same. We're done telling Maine we're scared and small. We're done watching illegal acts stand tall. Commit, act, name it, burn the dark. This is the line, and we just crossed the mark. Illegal seizures dressed up as protection. Warrantless doors kicked in without objection. Due process treated like optional ink, while the machine keeps printing another black sink. They thought the distance would keep us apart, thought the fear would stop the beating heart, but every mile between us just made the fuse longer. Now both ends are lit, and the powder's stronger. No more I wish someone would. No more waiting for the next good mood. The state keeps moving because we stay still. That ends tonight, by force of will. Same state, same war, no more dividing lines. CPS Punisher and the Angry Citizen rise. No more.
Well, what's up there? Well, that's
What's up,
that.
Darren?
How are you, my friend?
Angry Punisher.
Angry Punisher. Does it say Angry Punisher today? Do I have it?
No,
Do you know?
I just
Do you know?
find that funny.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to tell you this. Is the other night when we did that roundtable on Tiff and the Punisher show,
Hmm.
do you know what my name said underneath me for that?
I don't know what your name said. What did it say?
It said punish her. So it was the word punish space her. Somehow that got in there. So I was highly inappropriate for the guests that we had, but it went through and nobody noticed
Yeah,
it. So that's cool.
Can't take it back.
No,
Immortalized
no.
on the internet forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and even if you edit it, it's going to say edited version. So, you know,
Yep.
people will know that there was a
Well,
mistake.
I mean, we would like to see our traitorous governor punished.
Yeah.
So
Yes, we
I
would.
would like to see her in jail. Did you know that I was attempting to get her arrested? I don't know if I ever told you that.
I thought that you were actively still attempting. I didn't know that you ever ceased in that.
Oh, it's still on the table, and it's ironic that we, the people, ignore our lawful tools of resolution, which I heard early on when I started questing for knowledge. I found out that if any of the elected servants perjure their oaths, they literally are out of a job. Like as soon as they do it, according to our Constitution, their office is void. They're kicked out of office, but we don't enforce it.
Right.
See, and when I was attempting to gather enough support to initiate some lawful actions against her, you'd be surprised how much opposition I got. There are people out there that love her. They just love her. I had an impeach Mills sign, and I put it up in front of my house, and it got stolen.
Well, that's because somebody loved the sign. I don't think that had anything to do with them showing their love for her.
Okay.
I think
I'll take that.
that's where I'm going to go with that one.
All right.
It's almost like you should have this sign in your yard right here.
Well, I hadn't thought of that, Darren, but yeah, that makes sense. They saw it and they were like, "Man, I just have to have that sign."
Yeah, it
So,
makes sense to me. That's
yeah,
the first thing that came to my head was like, your sign was so amazing that people want Mills out of office here, that they were like, I need to have
people love tyranny. They love tyranny. They love being ruled, and they get very angry at you if you don't go along. Like they get really, really mad if you don't just submit to authority. And like that one time I went into the supermarket, and this was during the mask obsession, and I didn't wear a damn mask. I just went in the supermarket, and one of these dweebs working there started harassing me. You got to put on a mask. You have to put on a mask. They literally wouldn't let me check out. Did I ever tell you that?
No, I did not. I was
Yep.
just looking to see if I had a mask available, because sometimes I do. I was going to put it on for some satire, but
I think it's hilarious. There's one of the people that I met during the quest, and I interviewed him. I interviewed a bunch of people that were members of the SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, because they were all being told they had to accept the shot, the poisonous injection, and were blackballed if they refused.
right.
This guy's name is Chuck Slavin, and he actually ran for president of SAG-AFTRA. And I did an interview with him and a couple of other the people that were friends of his that are also in the acting profession. It's on my my YouTube and my BitChute channels. And Chuck put up a picture, and he had the actress, what's her name, Milano. Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano. Yeah, that's she was wearing the boss.
She was wearing a crocheted mask, dude. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh.
She's in a picture.
Very
with a mask
effective.
over her
Very,
face,
very effective.
crocheted. Like, I don't even know what to do with these people. They love to be ruled. And again, they get mad as hell if you ask questions. I think I told you, I just was talking to someone the other day about viruses, and I asked questions. I just wanted to know the answers. He was talking about viruses cause disease, and I said, do they?
Right.
And a lot of people act like I'm an idiot for asking the question. Why is that dumb? Can you show me? I just want to know. If it's so obvious that you get to laugh at me for asking the question, it should be even easier to just show me the irrefutable proof. They can't.
Yeah, because
that's why they get mad.
Right. They want to argue.
They haven't asked these questions.
They want to argue and fight.
Yep.
That's what they want to do. That's it. Have you heard of all the Medicare fraud or the Maine Care fraud that they have going on right now? I mean, since we're going to be talking about that, I mean, that's
hardly surprising. I mean, the system's ripe for corruption. It's just ripe.
Welcome
sorry.
to Corruption.
I didn't do that, Dana.
Of the
Sorry,
week.
my bad. But
Nice.
since we're here, do you want to take a look at this?
Yeah, by all means.
All right, since we're here, I didn't mean to even do this, but check this out.
This is the CPS Punisher Maine Matters podcast, episode the 4th of August, 2026.
But we never played this, so check this
Taxpayers
out.
robbed. Disabled Mainers neglected and abused. And the state of Maine finally forced to act under federal fire. Let's break it down. This week, the Mills administration finally admitted what federal officials and investigators have been screaming for months: massive fraud inside Maine Care. 5 providers just had their taxpayer spigot shut off for credible allegations of fraud. Gateway Community Services, Maine Connect Care, Trident Medical International, Decent Healthcare, and Community Home Healthcare, one of the biggest billers in the state. Names on the board, money stopped. This is not a paperwork cleanup. This is the first real crack in the dam. These are not clerical errors. DHHS letters obtained by investigators state the agencies billed for services that never happened. They used workers who were excluded from the program or completely unlicensed. One agency ran prescriptions under another provider's identification number. Background checks were skipped. Millions of dollars in questionable claims flowed out while the state looked the other way. This is textbook Medicaid fraud, and it ran for years. While the billers got rich, the people they were paid to care for lived in squalor and abuse. Federal auditors already flagged more than $45 million in improper payments for autism and rehabilitative services. One agency, Paradise Residential Services, was terminated for putting clients in immediate jeopardy. Disabled Mainers sat in filth while the people billing the state for their care enjoyed luxury vehicles and lifestyles. Don't this give is not Augustine credit for sudden integrity. This is predation. This happened because the heat got too hot. The CMS administrator came to Maine in person. The vice president publicly called the state a fraud bronze medalist. Federal task force scrutiny and multiple audits piled up. Only then did the suspensions drop. Now, even the Attorney General's office is scrambling to hire a new healthcare crimes unit director. Pressure works. Silence does not. The CPS Punisher is not asking. We are demanding full federal prosecutions, permanent exclusion of every fraudulent provider, an independent, transparent audit of the entire Maine Care home health and autism system. No more delays. No more excuses. No more looking the other way while vulnerable Mainers suffer and taxpayers get robbed. This is Maine Matters. Truth, accountability, justice. See you next week.
Yeah. So that was about that. Yeah. So $45 million is so far the number that it's up to, Dana. $45 million.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
And most of that at the hands of people with autism and that need autism services. So how many people in the state of Maine were denied access to their health care because they had blown money or just illegally or fraudulently sent money out for billing, and then there's no more money in that program. You know, it was just absolutely disgusting. But I mean, how much during when you're talking about with the face masks and during the COVID times and the injections and all of that, how much money was fraudulently spent on those items? I mean, I don't know if you know that or have that number.
Knows.
But I mean, Jesus, Can you imagine what the billing for face masks must have been alone?
Yep. And you know, we the people want to see justice. We want to see the people that are responsible for this charged with crimes, because it's fraud. And I think that every penny that was paid out needs to be accounted for. And if someone stole money from we the people, they should be forced to pay it back with interest.
Oh, Dana, that's federal money. That's federal money, buddy. That's federal money.
Yeah, I hate that term.
Can we give a quick explanation about how funding works? Would you mind doing that? Would you mind explaining to everybody how this works?
Well, basically, if for those who are not familiar, and I think this is pretty much common sense, is they take taxes out of us. They send the taxes to these various irresponsible organizations, and those organizations choose to use that money in some way. Some of it gets sent back to Maine for certain things. They call it federal funds, but it's taxpayer money. And I hate the fact that people keep using the term federal funds, federal funding, and acting as if somehow they're doing us a favor, sending us back our own money. Like, I take money from you, I take $50 out of your wallet, and then I give you back $10. And I say, here's $10, but I'm not going to give you the $10 if you don't do what I want.
Because I know best. But I mean,
I took from you.
Right. And then, you know, some of the things are challenged by the state and others aren't. But I think it's at the end of the day, no matter what is done and how things are working, in this state, it all goes right to agent number one. This one right here in the top, right here above my head, Janet Mills. I mean, she's the boss, right? She's the boss. She's the one that controls all of this stuff. She's the beginning of the flow, and nobody besides you and maybe a handful of other Mainers have the gall to stand up against her. It's just scary, man. It's very scary.
Well, and we're fragmented, Darren. You know, you and I have talked about this. Like when I first started trying to unite enough people into an angry coalition to do what we needed to do, I met lots of people, hundreds of people over the course of about a year, and numerous so-called patriot groups, and they will not work together. They would only entertain my presence when I was supporting them. If they had an event, if they had something they were trying to do, they wanted me to donate money, they wanted me to join their group, be a member of their group.
Yeah.
When I did the freedom rallies, the annual freedom rallies, I sent out a lot of contacts for that, and I got a return rate of about maybe 5%. Like 1 out of 20 people that I contacted responded to me in some way. And we are never going to get anywhere if that's how it's going to be. We have to work together. We got to unite, and let's not worry about whose group gets credit or who gets fame and glory. Let's worry about getting it done, taking back our state from these criminals and holding all of them accountable, and send a loud message. You get these people arrested and thrown in jail and charged with fraud, and then fined. You know, we want our money back. And if you have to work the rest of your damn life and work 5 jobs to pay back the money you stole, that's what you're going to do. And imagine what would happen, the repercussions of that, right?
Yeah.
All the people thinking about shoving their hand into the till of taxpayer money would think twice about it, because they would know that there's a genuine risk that you will get caught and you will be punished, severely punished, as you richly deserve. But without a coalition, enough people working together, you know, we're swimming against the current. It can't happen unless we all get together. Like you said, you got to act. You know, it's easy to complain,
Right.
but you're complaining to the wind isn't going to help. You have to complain to the right people. You got to write letters. You make phone calls. You tell these people. Every one of us has elected servants that work for us, and you need to find out who they are. You can go right to the Maine government website, Maine state government website. You can get their information, phone numbers. Okay, I have a bunch of them right here on my phone, and they know me. When my name comes up, they know exactly who I am.
You're not blocked yet?
Well, I have pretty good relationships with them, you know.
Oh, good.
Because I maintain my decorum. You know, people say, you know, you're an angry guy, you come off angry, whatever. Well, you know, you can be angry and still be diplomatic. And that's where I go. And I'm factual too. You got to stick with the truth.
Correct.
So I call them and I say, hey, this is Dana, and I'm calling you about this issue. This is how I feel about it. This is what I expect out of you. And, you know, thank you for your time and attention. We all did it. That would emerge very quickly that we all basically feel the same way. I don't know anyone that wants to have the government full of fraud and our tax money stolen.
Right.
Except the people doing it.
Right. And then in which case it's, well, whatever. They're on the chopping block anyway. It's disgusting. And how do they feel? How is it that, how much does the governor make, do you think, Dana? Do you know that
the governor of Maine makes about $70,000.
No, I wonder what her net worth is.
Good question. I don't know.
Because what I want to know is, how do these politicians that make pennies on the dollar representing us, how do their bank accounts grow astronomically, especially while they're in office? It seems awful funny that a job that you're supposed to be devoted all this time with, and your salary all of a sudden is like, blah, 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 or your net worth just continues to rise. I mean, that tells me that you're taking money from a special interest, or that tells me that there's a lot more going on than what meets the eyes. And I know that they drive up and down the road with the scare of God in them and all this stuff. You know, the government officials, you know, the ones that are hunting the ICE people and all of that. But, you know, they're collecting dollars upon dollars upon dollars. But how are they doing that when they're salary based? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we sort of know. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like if you look at it on a national level, and you look at our senators and our congressmen uh, that go to Washington, and they're all millionaires,
Yep.
and they're making, what is it, like 170, I think, grand a year, which in my world, that's a ton of money, but I guess for a lot of people, maybe it isn't. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
they're all millionaires, and they all make
Yep.
money on stocks. Somehow they always know what stocks to buy when, um, and they arrange deals for themselves that they will, like, Barack Obama made some sort of deal with a book publisher, and when he got out of office, they gave him some giant amount of money to supposedly write his memoirs or something like that. It was ridiculously high, like $2 million or some ridiculous amount of money like that. They're always looking for ways to line their pockets, and they're good at it.
They shouldn't be able to, um,
Make money from other
right.
sources.
Correct. Not while they're in
I mean,
office.
I would agree with you. That's a controversial topic. It's been raised before, and it's been proposed by people that we should implement a system where when they're in office, they don't get to make money, like buying
From
and
drawing from
selling
a system.
stocks,
Right.
things like that. So, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I think we just need to elect the right people, and we need to lose our bias. Our biases are disturbing. The level of biases that we have are very disturbing. People align themselves with someone, and they vote for that person, and they praise that person, and then when that person starts doing things that are clearly not okay, the people that support them will not say, okay, you know what, maybe I made a mistake, right?
Right.
I thought
Yep.
this person was great, but then they did this thing, this clearly reprehensible
Not
thing,
very
or said
right.
this terrible thing, and I'm going to decry them. I'm going to condemn them for that because it was a terrible thing that they did or that they said, and we send them back. And this is in my opinion, largely a result of this idiotic two-party system.
Mm-hmm.
And people get married to this system. They just love it. All my life, for I'm 63 years old, and all my life I've heard people telling me, as soon as we get those Republicans in office, everything's going to be fixed. It's never happened. Never, ever, ever have we gotten Republicans in that office and controlling both houses, and a president who's a Republican, and had them cut all the outrageous fraud, waste, and corruption in our federal government. Never. They
Right.
just make it bigger. We're $40 trillion in debt, America. $40 trillion. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
joke. It really is. It's like you can't make up a number that's that big. It's sickening and disturbing. We keep sending them back, so you got to stop doing that.
It says, let me see here. I'm pulling up this article on World Wire. It says that Maine, this Democrat. So it says, after serving as a legislator in Maine, Janet Mills, this Democratic Party official, became Maine's Attorney General. Janet Mills was born in Maine on December 30th, 47. Her second term as Attorney General of Maine was under the gubernatorial administration of Paul LePage. She attended the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and the University of Maine in Portland. Through her marriage to Stanley Kuklinski, she had 5 stepchildren. During this time in the Maine Senate, her brother, Republican Party politician Peter Mills, served. As an assistant attorney general, Janet prosecuted homicides and other major crimes. In a few years, she was elected district attorney for Androscoggin, Franklin, and Oxford counties, becoming the first female DA in New England. In that role, Janet witnessed firsthand how the criminal justice system frequently failed victims of domestic violence. After frustration with the legislature's failure to act, Janet co-founded the Maine Women's Lobby to advocate for battered and abused women. She was elected to the Maine House of Representatives in 2002. Now, Janet Mills' net worth or net income is estimated to be between $1 and $5 million. She has accumulated so much wealth from her primary career as a politician. So, I mean, I know that DAs don't make that much.
For sure.
So let's see.
Did I tell you, Darren, did I ever tell you that I met her?
No, you did not.
Yeah, I met Janet Mills. So there was an event, I think it was at, what's the college? I'll think of it. It was a university
Bowdoin?
setting.
Bowdoin?
No. Anyway, doesn't matter.
UNE?
It was Bangor, I think.
Oh, okay, it's
NESCOM,
there.
maybe at NESCOM.
Okay.
Anyway, so, and the conference was about addiction. And there were a bunch of people there. This was when Janet Mills was the Attorney General. And they had this panel with Janet Mills being one of these people. And they had a guy who was a reformed addict, a recovering addict. And they didn't let this guy talk. Like, he kept trying to talk and he kept getting cut off by other people. And I had a chance to talk to him after the conference was over, and he was very frustrated. He said, they didn't even want to hear what I had to say. Like, I'm the guy that's lived it. It's my life, and I'm trying to throw in my opinions and my thoughts on this, and they're just not interested in what I had to say. And he's right. And I will tell you, I got a very, very bad feeling from Janet Mills. She is creepy. And if you've ever met this woman, she radiates falseness. And I understand this is a characterization, and I try to stay away from characterizations that stick with facts, because that's, I think, important. But I will absolutely stand by what I'm saying right now. She does this weird thing where she blinks with both eyes all the time, like this. She does this winky blinky thing all the time, like this. It's very weird and creepy. She doesn't look you in the eye when she talks to you. She's just always looking away and looking around.
Sign of a liar.
Talking. Her smile felt very fake, very, very disingenuous. And there was a parade up north somewhere. I don't remember where it was, but she was in this parade, and a lot of people were really angry at her for the whole, shutdown, the so-called lockdown, which, by the way, Maine and America, no governor has the authority to order you to stay in your home. I can't believe I have to say this to people. It's like a nightmare for me, honestly. No governor has the authority to order you to stay in your home. No governor has the authority to order you to close your business. Okay. And by doing that, they are perjuring their oaths, and they are automatically out of office. As soon as a governor does something that perjures their oath, they are no longer the governor. And we, the people, need to enforce that. So these people were very angry at her, rightfully angry at her. And she was on this float, and she was like smiling, like she was deliriously happy. Just so happy and waving at everyone. And people were standing on the side of the road screaming at her, screaming obscenities at her. And she had this huge smile. She was waving, hi, yay! I mean, she's she's wacky, man. She's a whack job.
Oh man, she's
so odious. She just disturbs me to even see her. Like, every time I see her, I'm revolted by her.
Revolted. That's an evil word. That's a
yeah, man.
Very she revolted me. I was so upset.
Strong language. She was revolting. Absolutely revolting.
Well, I mean, she just doesn't care. I mean, she's just, that Reddit article that I was just reading about her said right on it that she's a celebrity politician. That means that she's there to be more of a person.
Fame and glory.
Fame and glory than she is for doing the right thing for Maine. And she proves that over and over again.
Yep.
And I'm afraid that, she's out of this next election. So we're thankful that we don't get to see her again this time, this run around. But in Maine, can't she run again for governor after this next
She can,
term?
yeah. If she sits out one term, she gets to run again if she wants to.
And it seems like that's what her and Paula Page do, right? Like, they bounce back and forth.
Yes.
So that they're going to control this entire state until the day that they die.
That's the idea.
Right. So,
and a fairly substantial number of our elected servants here, and our state level elected servants have served a number of terms, and they've kind of made a career out of it, which, if you think about it, doesn't make sense, because it doesn't pay much money. Like, it's not a way to get rich. If you're just looking for the salary of it, it's not very satisfying, but it's not really about that. And a lot of the Democratic representatives, and again, I disdain labels. I hate partisan labels. I hate the fact that we are always using Republican, Democrat. Democrats did this, Republicans did that.
Right.
However, sometimes the shoe fits, and in this case it does. And most of them are people who are independently wealthy. They're just doing this as kind of a hobby, you see.
Right.
So doesn't matter to them that it doesn't pay much money. and they are, unfortunately, they're not representing the people of Maine. They're not speaking and acting in our best interests. They're doing what the party wants them to do. It's an oligarchy.
Right. It's terrible. Like you're seeing a lot of these people that are moving in from other states that they have a camp up on Moosehead or, something like that. So now they're fighting for their rights on their camps. Don't get me wrong. There's a difference between a camp and $1 million luxury place on the water.
Right.
Camp to me is a 2-bedroom, small little tiny place with a wood stove in it. It's got a broken down porch on it, with some screen on it that's half open. And it's on a nice lake somewhere. That's a camp.
Right.
When these people are talking about their camps, they're these $1 million A-frame looking ginormous pine inside, like the place is not a camp at all.
Well,
It's a
luxury retreat,
luxury vacation home that, they're 30, kin can come up and stay at the same time and still have every place to go to the bathroom on time and, sleep everybody in there. Whereas if you're at camp with me, well, you better go outside if someone's in the bathroom. That's all I'm saying. That's camp,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's really sick. It's really disgusting. And it's, what these Maine politicians are doing, especially, is not giving us any service to anything that's going on. I do have another clip of this week's updates, Dana, if you want to watch these. This one does involve this week's news stories. Let me see.
Roll it.
Here. Let's see. It does. The beginning of it does include the Medicaid fraud with the updated stuff. Let me put this on here. All right, cool.
I want to point out too that all of us are still waiting for the Shenabello's investigation about how those 250 ballots got delivered to a residence in Maine by Amazon. Still waiting on that one.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to keep waiting for that.
But the elections are totally secure. They told us that, and they wouldn't lie.
Let's see. My children. Erica's letting us know about her kids in her case. She must have learned something. Let's point that out real quick. Update now. My children will be moving from Wisconsin to Missouri to be with their father that backstabbed me to get there. So 2 of my children are going to be in Missouri, and my oldest is in Tennessee, splitting up the family. That's the CPS thing. That's what they do.
That's rough.
That's disgusting. They're supposed to keep the kids together and supposed to keep them near you. And actually, our update story does have a case from the state of Maine that's this is just absolutely ridiculous that this has happened here again, Dana. Another kid up in your area actually has been left behind by the Maine welfare system. So let me roll this. Let me roll this video here. Let's see.
Today is also my my middle son's birthday. I haven't seen him in 7 years, and he doesn't talk to me. So,
well, happy birthday to him.
Totally familiar with that. Yeah. Yep. Sucks.
One day, yeah, it does. One day he'll realize how great of a father he has in the time that he missed with him.
I hope so.
That's will be what happens. That's typically what does. I don't know your entire situation with that, but I know that a lot of it has to do with not that type of stuff, and it's not on you.
Yeah, I don't even know what I did, bro. He never even said at any point that I had done or said anything that he had a problem with. He just stopped talking to me right out of the blue.
Doesn't it seem like there's a lot of that going on in this day and age with families just breaking apart for no reason? And I push that to this day and age, the hustle and bustle of how today is and how everything is, everything's so damn fast. We got to hurry. We got to do all this stuff. Everything's that way. And it's really too bad. Like if you do have a camp, do people even still go up to your camp? Like in the summer when it used to be family and everybody get together and, so on and so forth. And now it seems like all that stuff is gone, man. And it's really scary and it's sad that people are just so willing to drop their family in a moment's notice, and just for no reason, nor ever even to get the person to have a reason to speak back. I live it too, man. And it's really disgusting. But here's this week's news.
$56 million in improper Medicaid payments. Maine's own auditors found it inside MaineCare. the state's Medicaid program. Providers kept billing. Regulators kept looking away. So the people did what Augusta wouldn't. 3,500 citizens signed on, demanding real inspections and escrow accounts for suspect payments. This week, the state finally opened the rulemaking door. Not because officials chose accountability, because citizens forced it. The Constitution doesn't ask government to police fraud, it demands it. If you live in Maine, submit your comment before the deadline closes. The people are not waiting anymore. A 10-year-old boy weighed 48 pounds when he died, starved, zip-tied, beaten, forced to sleep in a bathroom. His name was Braxton Smith of Bangor, Maine. His father pleaded guilty to murder, his mother and grandmother to manslaughter. This week, lawmakers unanimously ordered an investigation into how the system missed him. Did the state ever have contact with this family? Were reports missed? Did homeschooling hide the abuse? One senator asked the only question that matters. How was this allowed to happen? When government fails to protect a child, it has broken its most basic duty. Demand the investigation stays public and stays thorough. One contractor, over $1.2 million in judgments against him, Joshua Patouin, took homeowners' money and walked away from the job. One homeowner, Don Nason, was awarded nearly $169,000. Others are still fighting in court. Maine remains one of the least regulated states for residential contractors. The complaints keep piling up. The legislature keeps looking away. When the state won't protect the biggest purchase a family ever makes, it has failed its most basic duty. Property rights are not optional. They are the law. A 3-year-old was stuck by a discarded needle on a public riverwalk in Brewer. The police chief cleaned it himself, then found more. He refused to call it normal. He pointed to soft policies and needle programs that leave the danger behind. Add a police lieutenant accused of falsifying his own overtime. When accountability is selective, trust collapses. This week, Mainers signed petitions, forced investigations, demanded answers. The Constitution does not grant permission to look away. It imposes a duty. Life, liberty, property. We enforce them.
So that's our week in Maine.
Well said. Yeah.
I want to go to the Braxton Smith boy.
Dude,
That's just disgusting.
Kills me.
But that's the thing. That's, people talk about CPS. Well, where were they?
Yeah.
Why didn't they go to this kid? Why did they not help him? Or did they, and they didn't remove him? I mean, come on, the first sign of this would have been.
I had heard, I don't know this is true or not, okay, but I have heard that they were in fact involved with the family. That they had some sort of reports about something and they were investigating or had investigated or something like that. I don't know. So I'd like to know if they were or not. I wouldn't be surprised. We both know they're very selective about what they do.
Yep.
Their enforcement seems very arbitrary, honestly, to me.
Right. They just, Dana, there's the thing, and this is very sad, but they do pick and choose the kids that they take by adoptability. And if they do see a kid that was truly harmed and in these conditions, a lot of them just, we'll be back in a month or two and check on you, and that's it. And that's an unfortunate thing. That is very unfortunate, but that's part of the CPS game that's wrong, and that's why we need to get. I mean, I know that Maine just privatized it, put them out on their own, which makes it harder to have the oversight that they need. But as Mainers, we got to start pushing for our families, and not for more kids being taken, but more kids being taken care of instead, because they're not doing that. They're not doing that here in the state. They're not paying attention to it. They're not paying attention to any of the topics that the Mainers themselves are crying out about. I mean, it's just not happening. I mean, I don't know what's going on up in your neck of the woods, but it seems like a hell of a lot. We're down here in southern Maine where, we get the police corruption and all of that stuff. But it seems like maybe when people speak down here, they answer. But it seems like up there, when you go past Lewiston, it's like the Wild West. You know what I mean? And Maine's not listening.
Yeah, well, it's rural. It makes it harder when there's so, few people um, in an area, and because the more people that speak out, the more they listen. It's just a fact. And so you have a sparse population. It's easier to get away with fraud and corruption. It's a tough nut to crack. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. The solution is the same. The solution is we have to get involved. All of us have to get involved. And we got to stop worrying about whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, or whether they're black or white, or whether they're from Somalia or Lithuania. It doesn't matter. It just matters that they are doing bad things. They need to be held accountable. The standard is very, very plain.
Well, there's one thing. That's why I do, and I don't think it's ever been said directly. I don't know if it has or not. Maybe I missed it. But I'm pretty sure that's why Trump wears that purple tie. Have you ever noticed that? That Trump wears a purple tie? I'm pretty sure that's why. Well, red and blue makes purple.
Oh, well, it could be.
So
I don't know.
I mean, maybe we should, and if it doesn't, if that's not why, maybe we should start that position of get rid of the red and blue. Everything's purple. We're all red, white, blue. Something along those lines, because we need to stop the designation of your political party needs to be disbanded. That needs to stop. Like we need to realize that we are all Americans, period.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Constitutional Americans.
That's
you
right.
Want the Constitution to be in effect, or you would like to see it not be in effect. And I don't see why anyone would not want the Constitution to be in effect. It doesn't make any sense unless you like corruption.
Yeah. And we got to make this clear again, Dana. What is the purpose of the Constitution again?
And the Constitution is designed to let all of us, we the people, know what our rights are so that we can hold our government accountable. In other words, it doesn't give us rights. It tells us what they are so that we can keep the government in check.
Right, because the government's just here to be a representation of us. Right.
Yeah.
They don't get to make these
serve
decisions.
Us.
Right.
Government by the people, for the people. And if you look at how things go, when there's an election, what happens? Someone gets elected to an office, and what do? They immediately start doing what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
They don't necessarily do what we want them to do, or we wouldn't be $40 trillion in debt, and we wouldn't be sending billions and billions and billions of dollars off to foreign nations like Israel. Like all of you listening right now, how much money you have in the bank account that you'd like to send off to the government of Israel, right? It's absurd. They do what they want. And then we don't hold them accountable. And that's because most of us say, well, at least it's not as bad as it would be if that other person was in office. And we go around.
But that's no answer, right? That's no answer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then when someone runs who really should get elected, we won't elect them. We won't vote for them because we're told they can't win because the two-party system tells us you can't vote for someone other than the lesser of two evils. Evil A and evil B, the douche and the turd sandwich.
That's right, because you got to get some ungodly amount of like half a gajillion signatures on a ballot if you want to run or something like that. If you're not of the party or something, just astronaut.
Right.
Like you need more signatures than you do to actually win the election, I think, or something like that.
Well, it's definitely a lot. I knew the number because I looked into it, but I don't remember exactly what it turned out. But yeah, it was just silly, silly,
I think it's like a 500,000, isn't it? Not 500,000, I think.
For what now? You're talking like
get on the ballot, to get on the ballot.
Depends on the office.
Does it?
To be a senator or a congressman in the state of Maine? Yeah, it's thousands.
Is it thousands?
Yeah, it's some thousand signatures. So what's funny is you can be a write-in candidate by simply declaring your intention to be a write-in candidate. There's a form that you can get from the government of the state, and you just fill it out and you send it in. You don't need any signatures at all.
So do you get the same? You probably don't get the same. I don't know if they're luxuries, but the same benefits of, running during that must be like a last minute thing, right? Or can you just say that you want to be a write-in and that's it?
Yeah, that's it. You just fill out the form, you send it in, and then if you can get enough people to write your name on the ballot, you'll win.
Yes.
I thought about running for governor as a write-in candidate. I really gave it serious consideration.
You would
but
do
the problem
right.
is, I'm sure I know a lot of people would vote for me, and that's fine. The problem is that I would be blamed for the lesser of two evils losing. You see,
Right, because so many people would vote for you instead of the
right? They
whatever
call
is
you a
supposed to.
spoiler
Yeah, yep,
if you do that. You're a spoiler. It's funny how you get vilified for doing that. Like you're doing something wrong. Okay, I don't know if you know who Ralph Nader is. Or remember Ralph Nader,
but yeah,
but
I
Ralph
remember
Nader
Ralph.
ran for
Yeah,
president. Okay, and Ralph Nader should have been elected president if we the people were not such sheep. He was the obvious best choice for that position.
yep,
He had no special interest backing. He was not trying to run to empower other people. He wanted to do the right thing for we the people. And he was barred from the presidential debate. They threatened to arrest him. This is all in a
yep,
documentary, and it's a
yep.
fantastic documentary. And uh, he was called a spoiler, and he was widely hated because people voted for him instead of whoever else they would have voted for. And it was never
Yeah, I think
established
that was the Bush, wasn't that the Bush?
I think so.
Old, yeah.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing to Ross Perot too. Remember Ross Perot did that same
Yeah.
thing.
And I mean, I thought Ross Perot was kind of a nut job, but I applaud the guy for, getting in there and at least saying, hey, I'm going to do this. And, given that his stated reasons were, good reasons, like whatever.
Well,
But
Ross
yeah,
Perot was the
if
beginner
you
of the
are,
Green Party, right? Wasn't that that wasn't he the pushing the
no,
Green
that
Party?
was Jonathan someone or other. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is
Yeah,
that if you run, if you're not in their little group and you run, you will be hated. They
yeah.
will absolutely hate you.
And when you
And
live in a
people wouldn't
state
vote
of
for
3
me
million
because they're
people,
convinced that they have to vote for the lesser of two evils.
right?
So
When you
who's
live
this
in a
Maine
state of
guy?
3 million,
I'm
when you live in a state of
know
3 million people, oh, sorry, man. Well, you don't want to be the most hated in the state of 3 million people.
him. Yeah, I've already earned my share of hate, as you know. We've discussed that.
Right. Yes, you definitely do your due diligence of noise making, but like but there's a right and wrong. Like like to do the right thing. When did the right thing become a hateable offense? Because it is now. Just like you said.
Yeah.
Now it is. I mean, we have this little ticker here of the people that are going by, and I'm looking at. Do you remember the last time that? Let's put it this way: Susan Collins wasn't a senator.
No, and she said supposedly that she was going to only serve 2 terms when she first ran. That's what I'm told.
Yeah, and that was back in what, like 1983 or something.
Yeah, many years ago. Yeah.
And then you have Angus King, our former governor, who dipped down, and now he's a career politician with the Independents.
Yep.
And then who's the other one that we have?
I really, really despise Angus King.
I do too. Who is our other? We have one more, right? Don't we have one more representative? Or no, it's just them two.
Yeah, well, right now they're for Senate.
Right, and then who's the House of Representatives people for the state?
Oh, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Is Mark Lawrence one, or is he a state one? I don't know if he's a. Well,
I mean, we could look it up, but it doesn't matter. The point is, they're career politicians. We elect them, we send them back. They do terrible things, and we send them back again. And it's like, it's bad enough that we don't punish them for doing the bad things. It's way worse that we would literally reward them for being douchebags.
Yep, give them some money and a little license plate and a car and a little note in the window that says they can park wherever they would like.
Yep.
Off they go and run away they do. Taking away the state's money and everything else,
Yeah. I don't know if I ever told you that I met Paul LePage. So I didn't like Paul LePage when I first became aware of him. And I had occasion to meet him and talk to him. Comes off a lot better in person. But he complained about this in a manner of saying basically he thought that a fairly substantial number of the people that are state elected servants do it just for the license plate. He's probably right. He said, I think they just like the plate.
Yeah. Do any other states do that? That you actually get a license plate that says that
I don't
you're
know. That's a good question. I wonder.
I mean, I don't know what privileges you get with that plate on there. I mean, maybe parking at a handicap spot. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. Who knows?
It's like the Trump of all license plates to have is the Maine state representative plate. You know.
Yeah, we should look that up for next show because I'm curious.
Find out what is the benefits of the Maine state representative license plate. Yeah, what do you have to have one? And who foots the bill for that?
Well, we already know that. We, the people, the taxpayers. You know, it's funny because we're not a wealthy state. We're a poor state. And yet, for some strange reason, they act like we all have money to burn. They spend our money like it's free.
Well, once they were on the whole let's take their children thing and realize that that's a good way to balance the budget, you know, it's been no turning back from Maine.
Yeah.
You know, that's unfortunate, but that's the truth. You know, like all of a sudden, I think it was LePage's first go at this. It was when they grabbed a hold of the ASFA and all of that stuff and said, here we go. We're going to figure out a way to balance the state's budget. We're going to do it with taking people's children. You know, and then the state of Maine's never looked back. You know, they've never looked back. And that's what's disgusting, man. That's so gross. It's so disgusting that they're stealing and taking away all these little lives that could have been something, that still may be something, but that didn't need to be taken away, and they're just ruining them.
Yeah. I mean, think of the trauma. Think of what it must be like to be a child, helpless child, and have strangers come into your home and seize you and drag you away from your parents.
Literally kicking and screaming.
Thrown in with some random stranger who may or may not be a decent human being. It's profoundly disturbing to me that we would tolerate this.
Yeah. But we know they know better, you know, the caseworkers that just graduated from high school that have never been a parent and you know, making these decisions for the parents of Maine. You know, they know better. They know what's better for these kids than their own parents. You know, that's the mentality of these people.
The so-called foster care system, and they, you know, it's so ironic that they are supposedly, you know, like vetting these people, right? Like that's what, you know, they'll tell you that if you were to be talking to anyone in this system, they would say, oh, well, you know, we don't just let anyone be a foster parent. You have to be vetted, get a background check and all that good stuff. And yet the children somehow still get abused. Like you're literally failing at the task that you claim that you're better at than the parents, because you claim that the parents are abusing the kid, and then you're abusing the kid by placing them with people that are abusive and to some degree, and potentially even to a very high degree. I mean, I can't imagine what that poor little boy went through, who was starved, zip tied. It's just like, it's so far beyond an occasional slap or something like that. It's sadistic and systemic. You know, I can imagine what his life must have been like.
Must have been a terrible, terrible, terrible thing, man. And it's too bad that the system that's supposed to represent him and save him failed.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that these people are now making enough noise, because I know that they even sued them last year? Excuse me, that the oversight committee sued them because they want to release the information. I hope that more people come out and start screaming about this stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff's got to change.
Well, I got to say, I think that you and Tiff are getting some traction with the Tiff and the Punisher podcast and the Punisher movement. So, you know, good on you for that. And, you know, let's keep up the momentum with that.
Oh, all right. We just got so the representatives of Maine are Jared Golden and Chelly Pingree, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys tune into that on Monday through Thursdays. If you haven't and you aren't already fans of us, you can watch it here. You can watch it watch it right here, wherever you're watching it from, Tiff and the Punisher. And of course, Thursdays, Dana, is your night that you come on as the Angry Citizen.
Tiff and the Punisher, now joined by the Angry Citizen.
That's right. And everything
right.
that you need to know about us is in the theme song that we play at the beginning.
There you go.
So if you guys need to know that, that's there. And then Friday nights we're here. Saturday nights we have Henry coming on to do his Equal and the Same, which is the ADA shows. And then Sunday night we have Gunner for CPS, which is Gunner's show. And tonight, this Sunday, he's actually coming out and addressing the 8 constitutional questions that he's giving to the federal judge in his lawsuit. So that should be exciting. We're getting answers. Gunner's getting answers. We're making things happen.
Got to hold them accountable, folks. That's what we got to do. Hold them accountable.
And if you want to see other stuff by Dana during the week, how do they see you again, Dana?
I am on YouTube as The Angry Citizen, and I have a BitChute channel, and I just started a Rumble. I haven't been doing much with it, and I have some big plans. I'm going to be writing some letters and creating some petitions, and I'm going to be asking basically everyone in Maine and everyone in America to echo my words, because I think, honestly, most people agree with me on my opinions and thoughts about holding government accountable. So we can.
Yep, and we will, because we are the people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We just need people like you to get us there. Get out there, get promoting the affidavit, get reporting, pushing all of these things. I saw something today. I know we're getting ready to be up on our time here, but I saw something today that someone was talking about the affidavit, and they were talking about that you have to make sure that you submit it into the right filing if you submit it into your court files. Do you know anything about that, Dana?
No, because my experience with the entire affidavit process, I have never ever seen one rebutted, or I've never seen an occasion when it actually had to be used in court. So all the occurrences that I have seen of use of affidavits, which is mostly from my friends Jack and Margie Flynn, and they basically were able to get results without having to go to court, because the people, and it kind of makes sense, because the people know that you're right, and they know that you're willing to stand up in court and say that this thing that you're claiming is true, and they don't dare to go to court.
Because you're swearing under the penalty of perjury, which holds a pretty substantial and stiff sentence.
And they can't rebut you, is the thing. Like, if you're speaking the truth and it's verifiable, the only way that they can disallow the affidavit is if you prove it wrong.
Right.
So if they can't prove you wrong, they don't have a leg to stand on.
Right. And if they do lie about it, what happens to them?
Well, then they can be charged with perjury. So, and that's serious, man. Perjury is a very serious crime.
Lewis says there's always have been denied. Well, Louis, we'll have to talk about that and see why your affidavits are being denied. There's a reason, or there's something wrong there, because they're not supposed to be.
What does he mean by denied? Like, what do you mean? Like, they're refusing to accept them in the court system?
Let's see if he gives us an answer on that one.
Yeah, I'm curious about what specifically you mean.
Yes, I am too, now that you say that. Well, he'll write it up there in a second.
I mean, we got to all remember the courts are largely, if not entirely, corrupt, and they're going to use whatever tactics they can. They will do literally anything that they think they can get away with, and an affidavit is especially repugnant to them, because that is a sworn statement of fact made under penalty of perjury, and it tells them that you mean business, that you know what you're doing, and you're not messing around. You mean business.
Well, it's a year in jail, right? A year in jail and a really hefty fine, is it not? If you
I don't know off the top of my head. It is jail time. Yes, perjury is a jailable offense for sure.
Let me look that up real quick here. If you lie on an affidavit, what happens to you? What the penalty is for that? While we wait for Louis to, he said, okay, Louis, very nice. Yes, Dave, very vague, Louis, very, very vague. But if they're denying your affidavit, there's a problem. So we could talk about that. Figure out what the hell you really mean.
Yeah, that's another discussion. We should definitely have that though too, and I'll do a little more research into it.
Right. Let's see here.
See if I can help you out.
What happens if you lie on an Affidavit. Drum roll. Lying on affidavit, a written statement signed under oath or penalty of perjury, is a serious legal offense. It can lead to criminal charges of perjury, steep fines, loss of credibility in court, and potential imprisonment. Perjury, because an affidavit is a sworn legal document, a deliberate lie on it is legally classified as perjury. Fines and jail time, depending on how severe the lie is and the laws of your state or country. Perjury can be treated as a felony or a misdemeanor. Carrying potential prison time and heavy financial penalties. With a civil case, it goes to loss of credibility. If the judge or jury discovers you lied, you will lose all trust. The court may completely discount your testimony. Losing the case, a false statement can cause you to lose your case. The judge can order you to pay the other side's legal fees or face other civil penalties for fraud.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's a big deal.
And that's why they don't want, if you're speaking the truth and you're exposing corruption, they are going to do whatever they can to keep that out of court. They do not want that entered into the court because it will be then a matter of record.
And if you are lying about exposing corruption, stop doing it. Don't make us all look like frauds like yourselves. Please don't do this. If you're going to go and try to expose corruption, tell the goddamn truth. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't try to change a detail here and there. Tell the damn truth, because if you're going to lie,
it's important.
You're going to be just as corrupt as them, and you're going to make us that are really out here fighting this stuff look like a joke to them. So please make sure, if you guys are going to go up against that stuff, that you do hold the truth and hold your own irons in the fire, and make sure that the ones of us that are fighting too aren't looked at as chumps, you know.
Amen.
So, amen to that. Well, Dana.
All right.
We're done here for the day, I think. How do you feel about that?
Good show. I'm feeling good. I think we're finally getting some traction. I think we might actually, I might actually live yet to see some of these people held accountable and put in jail where they belong.
Awesome. Excellent, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back next Friday for Maine Net. Have a good one, guys.
I'm just as shocked as you are. I believe the president has learned his lesson. I would vote for him again, yes. I've been named the most bipartisan member year after year. I'm worried.
I gotta stop this for a minute. So hold on a minute.
Same state.
And I'll bring Dana out for this. Dana, I had run this song last week, and you said, "What was this all about?"
Yes.
So this is comments all made by politicians from the state of Maine. So everything that's going through here are all different verses from, from quotes. Janet Mills, from quotes from different politicians,
various politicians
throughout the state of Maine. So that's what these words are. But now I need to change that, so I'm going to play this one instead. So have a good weekend, everybody. We'll catch you all next week. Until then.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Governors in the mansion,
councils fighting in the light, while families lose their homes and nobody makes it right. They talk about progress with a straight face and a grin, but the state's on fire and they're still just fan in the wind. Whoa, we found a federal case, they're still denying every claim. Same old machine, same old lies, same old dirty game. They lost the plot, they lost the map, they sold the future for a photo. Out of touch, out of time, out of their minds. Maine is screwed. The governor's crazy and the whole crew's lost. Maine is screwed. Politicians out of sorts while the people pay the cost. Maine is screwed. From Augusta down to every broken town. Maine is screwed. And we're the ones who's standing up to burn it down. They thought we'd stay quiet, they thought we'd just comply, but every lie